Hello, Bruce.
Hello, Simon.
How are you today?
I'm feeling replete. How are you?
Replete. That's a great word to kick things off, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's a lovely word. I'm getting this thing which sends me a word a day, sort of like to build up my vocabulary. The trouble is, every time it shows me a word, I go, yeah, I know that one.
Yes. Yes. My issue with that would be, yes, every time you show me a new word, I forget the one from yesterday.
Yeah, that's true. You have to have used it a lot yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It'll probably just end up being a one-time use and then never again.
Especially if it's replete. Where are we? What are we doing? Where am I?
Well, I'm here, you're there, and this is Factoraly. So Bruce and I are professional voiceover artists. Hello.
Hello.
And we talk about stuff for a living. We
do. We try and encourage people to do things, buy things, appreciate things,
yes.
Understand things.
Exactly. Very good summarisation to put on the CV. And when we're not doing that, we come here, we pick an interesting topic, hopefully interesting. If it's not interesting, we'll be darn sure to make it interesting.
No, I see. I go the other way. I would much rather pick something that was extremely dull and boring.
Yes.
And then try and make that interesting.
Yeah, it's more of a challenge.
It's much more of a challenge. And also, it means that they're only half an hour long as opposed to ages and ages. And then, the editing takes, I don't know, Simon, you'd have to tell me how long.
A while sometimes. But that's the synopsis. We love facts. We talk about facts. You listen to us talking about facts. We all have a whale of a time. Off we go. Are we talking about soup by any chance today, Bruce?
Yes.
I thought so.
Can you cook?
I can boil a tin of soup.
Okay. You know you don't have to boil a tin of soup.
I was going to say, and that's probably wrong because you're not supposed to heat it that high, are you?
You don't have to. It's already cooked.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
But I can cook.
Good.
In fact, in lockdown, I created some videos of how to cook various soups, including vichyssoise and Jewish chicken soup.
Oh, lovely. Yes, so I think you're probably going to be a bit more of an expert on this topic than myself. I'll start with something that I found out. Etymology, as always, it's a good place to start. The word soup comes, as one would probably expect, from the French, because the French seem to do quite well in their
cuisine,
their soup, don't they?
Well, they're the people. They're the reason why we call beef, not cow.
Yes, beef
and pork, not pig,
and all that kind of stuff. Mouton.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you, French.
Well done. Thanks for screwing up our language.
But they gave us good castles, so,
And decent cooking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Can't complain.
So, it's fine. So Old English, soup, came from Old French, soup, which came from Latin, suppa, spelt S-U-P-P-A. And that related to the word sop, sopping wet.
Mm-hmm.
And a suppa was a piece of bread dipped in some form of liquid food.
Right.
As you would use.
Like a crouton.
As opposed to a crouton, which is crispy, this actually refers to a piece of bread that's soggy with broth. And that was called
much like a bread bowl.
Oh, a bowl made out of bread that you put stuff in. Yes, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll come on to those later.
Oh, good. And the word soup via supper is also related to sip and sup and supper.
Okay.
So it's all to do with liquid and drinking, consuming liquid.
Right.
How old is soup? I mean, not the one you've got in the cupboard, but generally speaking, how long have we had soup?
I think we've probably had soup an awful lot longer than we can prove.
Good.
But I'm imagining there would be Chinese soups going back an awful long way, and almost like sort of proto-human soups and things.
Yes, I would imagine that's so. I found a little bit of evidence that suggests it goes back to the late Stone Age. So
okay.
Sort of 50-odd thousand years ago.
50,000?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, somewhere between 10,000 and 50,000. It's a bit vague.
Because I have my first soup that's actually provable as soup in 6000 BC.
Okay.
And that was hippo soup.
Ooh.
Although apparently the Chinese go back to 20,000 BC.
Okay, that's even better.
Yeah. So that's the early soups.
Yes.
And then what happened?
We go through a nasty bit of history where no one really talks about soup for a while, but we have to assume that it's still there. It was popular in medieval times, sort of a brothy, stewy. There seems to be quite a narrow line between what's a soup and what's a broth and what's a stew. Broth, I believe, refers purely to the water. If you boil ingredients in water and take the ingredients out, that water is the broth.
Yeah.
You can then add ingredients to that broth to make soup, and then something else happens and it becomes a stew. I'm not quite sure where the distinction is between those two.
It must be the amount of liquid.
Yeah, probably, yeah. I found a reference to 16th century France where the word restaurant first came up. And it actually referred to soup.
Oh, right.
Restaurant being a restorer.
Yes.
Restorer of your energy and giver of vigour and health.
And that's what soup does.
That's what soup does. So that was what soup was. It was called restaurant. You'd have a bowl of restaurant.
Okay.
In 1765, a French fellow opened up a shop to sell the aforementioned restaurant, and the shop became known as Restaurant because he's selling soup. And that's how we get restaurants.
Ah.
Yeah.
There must have been soup in the 14th century.
Probably.
Because that's when they invented the soup spoon.
Okay.
Because, you know, there's Elizabethan ruffs.
Yes.
It's very difficult not to spill soup on your ruff.
Sure, yeah.
Unless you can convey it to your mouth in sort of small measures rather than just kind of like tipping the bowl up.
Oh.
So the soup spoon was invented to save your ruff.
Really?
Yes.
That's fantastic. Wow. Okay, well, yeah, so it must have been popular then. Otherwise, they wouldn't have bothered.
Exactly. Do you eat soup or drink soup?
Depends how thick it is, I would say.
It depends on where you are.
Does it?
Yeah.
Ooh, go on.
Arabs drink soup.
Right.
And most people eat soup in the rest of the world.
How interesting.
And I mean, I think you're right. I think it depends on whether it's a broth or whether it's sort of more substantial. But I would say drinking soup.
I remember having a flask of hot tomato soup when going out to fireworks nights as a kid.
Yes.
And we would definitely drink it.
Yes.
No eating involved.
There you go.
But if you have a big fishy bowl of Cullen skink or a Scotch broth or something like that has things in it that require chewing, I'd say that is eating.
Because chowder is another thing.
Yes.
Chowder was a general term for a soup made by sailors.
All right.
And generally chowder was eaten or drunk.
Consumed.
Probably, let's say consumed, in a bread bowl.
Was it?
Which you mentioned earlier.
Yes.
So it goes back to 1427, the first record of a bread bowl.
Right.
And this is something which is done in Ireland as a way of, it's kind of a way of making things stretch, a bit like Yorkshire pudding. So you put the soup into a bowl made of a round piece of bread, you hollow out the middle. Then sailors went to America, and specifically to San Francisco, and they took this idea of the sourdough boule, which is now a thing in San Francisco, which is you have chowder in a bread bowl.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was just a trendy new invention that
it's a bit
you get in
Hoxton,
expensive
isn't it?
Pubs. It's a little bit. Yeah, I was going to say it's a little bit East London. Yeah.
No, it goes back to the 15th century.
Fantastic. Then, of course, we get into the realm of mass-produced, commercially available tinned soup. Would you say a tin of soup or a can of soup?
I would say a can of soup.
Okay, fine. The canning process came about in the 1800s during the Industrial Revolution, and that suddenly made things like soup, amongst other products, more readily available, more mass-producible, and therefore you could have sort of a standardized recipe shipped out to the millions.
Yes.
One of the first, I think in this country we are particularly dominated by Heinz soup.
Ooh, don't let Baxter's hear you say that.
No. I did think of your poor dog, Baxter, when I thought
So my dog Baxter is named after Baxter's soup.
Oh, is he actually?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But the thing about making tin soup or canned soup is it's actually cooked in the tin. It goes into the tin raw.
Oh.
I mean, apart from like a soup base, which is like a stock. The actual ingredients, like the vegetables or the bits of meat or whatever else goes in there raw.
And then it's
and
heated
then
up
the
in
cooking process happens inside the can. So everything that's in a can of soup is already cooked. You don't need to cook tinned soup because it's already done.
Yes, you're not cooking it, you're heating it if you want to have it hot.
You could have it cold.
And call it gazpacho.
Or even gazpacho.
I thought it had an I in it.
No.
Is it not gazpacho?
No.
Well, we are learning some things today, aren't we?
Heinz tomato soup was first introduced into the UK. It was a very posh thing. It was introduced at Fortnum's in 1910.
No way, really?
It was Canadian originally. Heinz cream of tomato soup was originally a Canadian dish. And it was imported after the First World War. And then it was so successful in the UK that Heinz opened a factory in London specifically to make
that?
Heinz cream of tomato soup. And then they made other things at the factory, but that was the primary thing.
Yeah.
How many tins do you reckon they sold of Heinz cream of tomato soup in the last 100 years? Because it's been going since 1910.
Do you know what? I tried to find this out. I wanted to see who made more cans of soup per year, and I found one source that said the number of cans of soup sold by Heinz is not publicly available.
Well, there is a statistic, which is that Heinz cream of tomato soup in the UK, they've sold 8.2 billion tins of soup.
Billion?
Billion.
Crikey. That's a lot of tins of tomato soup.
It is a lot of soup.
Wow.
As opposed to Baxter's, who's slightly different.
Yes.
Baxter's is a lovely story. That it's generally been run by women. So there was Ethel Baxter and then Ina Baxter and then Audrey Baxter. They've all run the company. And they have a royal warrant. They've been going since 1868.
Have they?
Yeah. And they originally made jam and jelly and things like that. And then they switched to soup in 1929. And the first soup that they made was called the Royal Game Soup. And it used Speyside venison.
Oh, nice.
They sponsored the Loch Ness Marathon.
Thought you were going to say the Loch Ness Monster.
No, just the marathon. And it's obviously eaten by the king.
Right.
Or drunk by the king, whichever way you look at it.
So that was in 1868?
Yes.
1 year earlier than Heinz.
Ooh.
So Henry Heinz started packaging foodstuffs of different varieties in 1869.
How many varieties?
I'll come on to that. He was based in Pennsylvania in America from German parents, and they were packaging already available foodstuffs. Their first product that they actually made was horseradish sauce. The company went bankrupt in 1875 and then reformed. Henry Heinz brought his brother and his cousin on board, and they started sort of expanding a little bit. The 57 varieties slogan came out in 1896, and apparently this was inspired by a sign that Henry Heinz saw advertising 21 styles of shoes in a clothing store.
So it's completely made up. It's just marketing.
Completely made up. Apparently Henry Heinz's lucky number was 5.
Yes.
And his wife's was 7. So they put the two together and made 57. Totally made up. So they made horseradish, then they moved into ketchup, then they moved into salad cream. They didn't start doing soup until 1930.
Ah.
So the company had been around for sort of 60-odd years.
Yes.
By the time they started going on to soup. Apparently Heinz is the most popular brand of soup in the UK. Sorry, Baxter. But not as popular in America as Campbell's. I don't really know much about Campbell's. I'm not sure I'd even realised it was an American brand. I thought it was another Scottish one.
Really?
With a name like Campbell. But
despite Andy Warhol.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
So condensed soup.
Yes.
The reason it's condensed, it was condensed by a guy called Dr. John T. Torrance. And they started in 1897. And they decided to start to condense it because it made it cheaper. And not necessarily cheaper in terms of ingredients, but cheaper to transport.
Okay.
Because the tins were half the size because you had to add your own water.
Yes, okay, yes.
So you could transport the same amount of finished soup in half the space required.
Right, okay.
So it became cheaper to actually produce.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And this, I mean, Campbell soup is fairly inexpensive. Unless, of course, you go to the Museum of Modern Art in New York and want to buy one of the tins of Campbell soup there.
Yes, then it's different.
People don't really look at it, but if you look at the Campbell soup, the series that Andy Warhol produced, they're all the different types of soup.
Oh, are they?
It's not the same soup. They're all different.
Brilliant.
And so he started off by hand painting them.
Yeah.
And then he started to screen print them, which meant that he could mass produce. And then started to sell those mass productions in much the same way as his Marilyn Monroe series.
Yeah, sure.
But although the Marilyn Monroe were all the same picture, whereas the Campbell soup were all different pictures. But can you imagine hand painting a whole load of like different tins of Campbell's condensed soups?
That's crazy.
I know. In fact, the belief was that series started the pop art movement.
Right.
So that was where pop art came from.
Wow.
Was from soup.
From soup. Wow.
Yeah.
I tried desperately to find out why we call it cream of tomato or cream of mushroom or cream of chicken soup. Obviously, it contains cream.
Yes.
So that's a bit of a giveaway. But why cream of? It's not the cream of a tomato. It's not the cream of a mushroom.
It's cream and.
It's more like cream and.
Yes.
And I couldn't get a definitive answer, and I was really frustrated. So if any of our dear listeners, the Factoralites, know a conclusive answer, why cream of, please let us know.
Yes, do. You can write to us at hello@factoraly.com. You can leave a pithy message on our Facebook page.
Yep.
All sorts of ways of getting in touch.
You could just shout at us.
Yes, you'll see us wandering the streets.
Oi, Bruce, I know why it's called cream of. I had a look at a few interesting varieties of soup, or at least varieties with interesting names. Soup is such a ubiquitous thing. It exists in pretty much every culture and every world cuisine. There isn't, at least I haven't found a country that doesn't have its own variety of soup in some form or another. And some of them have got interesting names. Some of them are made out of interesting things. So I thought I'd just give a little rundown. Mulligatawny soup.
Was that named after a person?
No. So I'd always thought that mulligatawny sounded vaguely Scottish.
Or Irish.
Or Irish or Celtic or something like
mulligan,
that.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, yeah. Even the word tawny,
Yes.
It just sounds a little bit Celtic. It's Indian.
Okay. It tastes, it's got a sort of curryish.
It's slightly curryish, exactly, yeah. And the name comes from two Tamil words, milagu, meaning black pepper, and tanir, meaning water.
Oh.
So milagu tanir, mulligatawny, is literally pepper water.
Okay.
Which is interesting because pepper isn't its main ingredient. It has all sorts of different things in it, and meat and some vegetable versions, but always sort of tasting slightly curry-esque. And this was very popular in India in the 18th century, and then we saw it during the days of the Raj, and we brought it over here. And
appropriated it.
Yes, sure. We're inspired by it.
Yes.
And brought the recipe home. Another interesting name, Cullen skink.
Yep, love a bit of Cullen skink.
Which I've actually had in Cullen. So Cullen is a tiny little village in Moray in Scotland. And it contains haddock, potatoes and onions.
Smoked haddock, specifically. Undyed smoked haddock.
Not the bright yellow thing.
I can make that.
Of course you can.
Yes. As I can cockaliki.
Oh, we'll come on to that. Skink, this is a confusing thing. The word skink is a Scots word for shin or knuckle, specifically of beef, and therefore it became a generic term for soup in Scotland if it contained beef.
Yes.
And then you go to Cullen and they don't use beef, they use fish, and therefore it's the Cullen skink.
Yes.
And that's why. Cockaliki, hilarious name. Cockaliki, it's a Scottish name. It just refers to the fact that it contains chicken and leeks, and that's that.
In the Caribbean, cock soup is very popular.
Okay. Yeah.
And also, it's great fun to bring home as a packet.
Packet of cock soup. Cockaliki is thickened with barley to make it a bit more substantial. One old recipe for cockaliki had prunes in it.
Yes, prunes are allowed.
Is that how you do it?
I have, but I don't normally. I think it just makes it taste not quite right to me. But I've done it. I have, as I mentioned, done videos. I may, if I'm feeling brave enough, put a link to my YouTube food channel.
Do it.
Which explains how to make Jewish penicillin.
Wonderful.
I call it that. Hippocrates mentions chicken soup for respiratory illness. It contains an awful lot of things that are very good for you.
Right, okay.
As Elvis discovered.
Right.
So Elvis, between performances, would have a bowl of nice Jewish chicken soup.
Would he?
Yeah.
Huh, how rock and roll.
I guess it lubricates the throat and it and doesn't make you too fat if you're already quite chubby.
Sure,
which
yeah.
he was.
Yeah.
So chicken soup between performances.
Wow.
In New Jersey, up until 1985, it was illegal to slurp soup in public. Up until 1985.
That's really recent.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
I mean, it's still not good etiquette. It's frowned upon.
No,
but it's
slurping
not,
isn't it?
not
Although
illegal.
slurping, I would say, makes you look as though you're enjoying it.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And in Nebraska, if you owned a bar in Nebraska, you weren't allowed to sell beer unless you were also brewing a kettle of soup at the same time.
Right, okay.
But Americans are like that with their laws. There's always something a bit odd.
Had to prove you were doing food as well and you weren't just a beer hole.
Yes.
Huh.
And then there's the National Soup Month, of course.
Well, of course.
Yes. Everything has a month, doesn't it? A national month.
It does, yeah.
There's it's January if you're interested.
Is it?
Which
Oh,
makes
yes,
sense because that's the kind of month when you fancy a bowl of soup. So nowadays we have these packets of soup and sort of like Knorr. You put in a litre of water and boil for 5 minutes. And all that stuff. That started in Japan, instant soup.
Did it?
And it was invented for ramen. So effectively kind of like pot noodles.
Yes.
But 1958.
Right, okay.
So it was basically, it's like a powdered soup. You just pour boiling water onto it. It cooks the ramen and it makes the soup.
Brilliant.
So it's very easy. As opposed to bird's nest soup, which is very difficult.
Yeah, now talk to me about bird's nest. Does it actually contain bird's nests?
Yes, it does.
Really?
So there are little birds called swiftlets.
Right.
Basically, they nest on walls and they use saliva to make these little sort of cup-shaped nests, which are attached to the wall. And then they lay their eggs in there and they hatch the little swiftlets.
Swiftlets.
Yes. And then people come along, they sort of, after the nest is finished with, they chop that down. But it's made of swiftlet saliva. Yes.
Ew.
Let's not go there. So when it's cooked, it's got the consistency of like egg whites. You know, like when you have like a Chinese chicken and sweet corn soup, it's got that sort of gloopiness to it.
Yeah.
It's that kind of effect.
Right.
But swiftlet saliva bird's nests are very expensive to harvest and to make.
Are they? Why?
Well, they used to be very rare, but then they decided to start making swiftlet hotels in Malaysia.
Okay.
And you can make an awful lot of money. We have a blog which goes along with this.
Oh, yes, we do.
And I'll put a video of how to make swiftlet hotels in Malaysia and how much money they can make from those. Because bird's nest soup is eye-wateringly expensive. It's about £100 a bowl.
No.
Proper bird's nest soup.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it's really expensive for something that's made of saliva and looks a bit like egg whites.
I mean, you're not really selling this to me, Bruce.
Am I not?
Doesn't sound great to me.
Well, you know.
I think I'd almost be happier if it was just a good old-fashioned traditional bird's nest. Stick a few sticks in the soup and then take them out again.
No, unfortunately not. Astronauts make soup.
Do they?
Astronauts' favourite soup is pea soup.
Oh, okay.
It's not made with peas.
Oh, God. Why?
Because it's made with pea.
Oh, that's disgusting.
So there is no waste on a space station.
Sure.
Everything gets recycled, including the water in your sweat, in the air, and that you excrete. One of the things you can do with it is you can make, they basically take up with them some cream of tomato but it's freeze-dried. And they mix their stored water with this cream of tomato freeze-dried powder to make soup. But it is technically pea soup.
Wow. Yum.
I mean, there are astronauts who got stuck up on the space station who were basically living off soup for quite some time. If you've got the money to go into space, then obviously you can freeze dry anything.
Yeah.
If you haven't got the money, then you need help with your diet, and you need something like a soup kitchen.
Oh yes, soup kitchens.
So soup kitchens were started by a chap called Count Rumford. I'll tell you what, I won't do it now. Go to the show notes and you'll get the whole story about how come Count Rumford invented the soup kitchen in the late 1700s.
Really, as early as that?
Early as that, and then they kind of went out of fashion. Well, they were made illegal.
Oh gosh.
In 1834 in the UK.
Right. Okay.
Because of the Poor Law Act. They didn't want sort of vagrants gathering around these areas like soup kitchens, so it would sort of give the neighbourhood a bad name. They then came back when the Poor Law Act was repealed.
Yeah.
But in 1870, they were also appeared in the USA. So the first soup kitchens appeared in 1870.
Okay.
And they were generally sponsored by people who wanted to do good in the neighbourhood.
Yeah.
People like, I don't know, Al Capone.
Sure, that's who I would automatically think
So
of.
Al Capone sponsored several soup kitchens.
Really?
In Chicago. Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's good for your rep if you look after your people. So some people would say that stout is a sort of like a soup, isn't it? There's a lot of food in
I suppose so. Yes.
In a glass of stout.
Yeah.
And one of the most famous stouts is obviously Guinness.
Guinness.
I'm just wondering if there.
I've just seen what you've done, Bruce. That's terribly clever. Well done.
I'm just wondering if there are any records about soup.
There are a few records about soup. The world's largest bowl of soup, and I would contest this because it wasn't in a large bowl. I'd say more a batch of soup. The largest batch of soup ever created in one go was 30,292 litres, just over 8,000 gallons.
How many bowls is that?
A lot. And this occurred in Turkey only last year in 2024.
Oh.
The soup was prepared by 45 chefs, and it took place during the Tirana Soup Festival 2024.
Oh, cool.
The fastest time to alphabetize the contents of a can of alphabet soup. Yep. So alphabet soup, for those who aren't familiar, it's soup that's got little
pasta letters,
pieces of pasta that are shaped like letters. And a young fella called Jacob Chandler from Oregon in the USA, in December 2021, he emptied the contents of a can of alphabet soup. He picked through all the letters and he laid them out on a table in alphabetical order in 2 minutes, 8.6 seconds.
This man has not enough things going on in his life.
The most expensive commercially available soup on any restaurant menu, you mentioned bird's nest soup,
yes,
sort of costing around £100. There's a restaurant in Mayfair that serves something called Buddha Jumps Over the Wall soup.
Okay.
Which is an authentic Chinese recipe. This actually exists. They haven't just made it up.
Buddha Jumps Over the Wall.
Buddha Jumps Over the Wall soup.
Okay.
I can't find any evidence as to why. But this particular restaurant in Mayfair serves a bowl which costs £108. And it contains the meat of a sea snail, Japanese flower mushrooms, which is one of the most expensive and high-grade mushrooms around, sea cucumbers, dried scallops, chicken, a particular type of ham that comes from a particular type of pig in China that can only be harvested at a particular time of year, and ginseng. Sounds delicious. £108 a bowl.
108. That's one of those sort of bragging rights things,
oh, yeah,
isn't it? Yeah,
definitely.
I had over 100 quid worth of soup. No, just the one bowl.
I'm sure someone else will come along and just sort of, dust some gold leaf on top and make it £109.
Yes, yes.
That's it. That's all my records.
I've got nothing left.
No, that's all. That's it for me.
So we would like you very much to like this episode.
Yes, we would. We'd like a like.
And especially we like a like when it's accompanied by a 5-star review.
That would be even better.
Yes.
Wonderful. And then having done so, please feel free to go and share this show with all of your nerdy chums who might love to come along and listen to it. And then please go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that you can get a little notification in your inbox when each new episode appears.
Is served.
Lovely. Well, thank you very much for listening to this fun-filled episode of
Factoraly.
Please come again next time. Bye-bye.
Au revoir.